gather close. The fire is dying, and these are the kinds of stories best told in the dark. This is a story my grandmother told me when I was 7 years old. A warning, she called it. I didn't listen, I should have. This is the story of the river woman and what she takes from those who see her. In my village, there was one rule every child knew. One rule that was never broken: never go to the river after sunset. Not for water, not for bathing, not for anything. When the sun touched the horizon, the river belonged to her. Mami Wata, the river woman. My grandmother told me she was beautiful beyond description. Long black hair that flowed like water itself, skin that shimmered in the moonlight, eyes that held the depths of the ocean, and a smile that promised everything you ever wanted. But my grandmother also told me this: beauty is how she hunts. I had a friend named Kwame, 17 years old, confident, fearless, foolish. Kwame didn't believe in old stories. Superstition, he'd say, waving his hand dismissively. The elders just want to control us. There's nothing in that river but water and fish. He'd laugh when the old women warned him, mock them when they begged him to respect the rule. I'll prove it, he told me one evening. The sun was setting, orange and red painting the sky. The river glowed in the dying light. I'll go to the river tonight. I'll fetch water. I'll come back. He smiled that confident smile. And you'll all see there's nothing to fear. I should have stopped him. I didn't. Kwame left just after dark, carrying an empty calabash, walking toward the river with the moon rising behind him. Some of the elders saw him go. They didn't try to stop him. You can't stop a man determined to meet his fate. I waited in my home, listening, counting the minutes. He should have been back in 20 minutes, 30 at most. An hour passed, then 2, then 3. At dawn, we went looking for him. We found the calabash first, floating in the river, empty. Then we found his shirt on the bank, neatly folded, as if he'd taken it off himself. Carefully, deliberately. His footprints led to the water's edge, and then nothing. No signs of struggle, no blood, no body, just footprints leading into the water and none leading out. The elders looked at the scene and nodded slowly. They knew. She took him, my grandmother whispered. The river woman always takes the ones who don't believe. We searched for 3 days, dragged the river, checked downstream, called his name until our voices were raw. Nothing. On the 4th day, the search ended. Kwame was declared lost to the river. His mother wept. His father stared at the water with hollow eyes. The village prepared for a funeral with no body. But that's not where the story ends. That's where it gets worse. 2 weeks after Kwame disappeared, someone saw him. A fisherman, old man named Chike. He was checking his nets just before dawn. That grey time between night and morning when the world is quiet and strange. He saw a figure standing in the river, waist deep in the water, still as stone. It was Kwame. Chiki called out to him, "Kwame, boy, is that you? We've been searching. Come out of there." Kwame didn't move, didn't respond, just stood there in the water, staring at nothing. Chiki moved closer. "Kwame, can you hear me?" That's when Kwame turned his head. Chiki told us later that he'd never forget what he saw. Kwame's eyes. They weren't his anymore. They were black, completely black, like the deepest part of the river at midnight. No white, no iris, just black. And then Kwame smiled. Not his smile. Something else wearing his face. Chiki ran. Old as he was, he ran faster than he'd run in 30 years. When we came back with others, Kwame was gone. After that, people saw him. Always at the river, always between dusk and dawn, standing in the water, or sitting on the bank, or walking along the edge, never speaking, never leaving the river. Those black eyes staring at nothing, that wrong smile on his face. His mother tried to approach him once. We had to hold her back. She screamed his name, begged him to come home. He looked at her and laughed. It wasn't his laugh, it was the sound of water over rocks, cold, endless, empty. My grandmother explained it to me, told me what happens to those who break the rule. Mami Wata doesn't kill, she said. Death would be mercy. She takes something more precious than life. She takes your soul, yourself, everything that makes you you. What walks around after? That's just a shell, a puppet, something she uses to lure others to the river, because the river woman is always hungry, and she especially loves those who don't believe. I saw Kwame one more time. It was 3 months after his disappearance. I was walking home late. Sun had just set. I knew better than to go near the river, but I heard something, singing, a woman's voice, beautiful, haunting, singing a song I'd never heard but somehow knew. I found myself walking toward it, not deciding to, just moving, like something was pulling me. My feet carried me to the river bank, and there he was, Kwame, standing in the water, those black eyes reflecting the moonlight. He was holding out his hand to me, beckoning, and behind him I saw her. She rose from the water like mist becoming solid. My grandmother was right. She was beautiful, more beautiful than anything I'd ever seen or will ever see. Long hair flowing in water that wasn't there, skin that glowed like moonlight on waves, and eyes that held everything I'd ever wanted, everything I'd ever dreamed of, all my desires reflected back at me. She smiled, and I understood why Kwame had walked into the water, why no one who saw her ever came back the same, because in that moment I wanted to walk into the water too. I wanted to go to her, more than I'd ever wanted anything in my life. My foot moved forward, into the water, one step, then another. The river was cold, but her smile was warm, promising. I was waist deep when I heard it, my grandmother's voice, not really there, just in my memory. Beauty is how she hunts. I tore my eyes away. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, harder than anything before or since. My body screamed to look back, to see her again, to go to her, but I forced myself to turn, step backward, then another. Each step felt like walking through concrete. Behind me I heard the singing stop, I heard the water move, and I heard anger. Not words, not sounds, just rage, pure, ancient, eternal. I ran. I didn't stop until I reached my home, slammed the door, bolted it, huddled in the corner until sunrise. Kwame is still there 20 years later. He's still there, still standing in the river, still wearing that wrong smile, still holding out his hand. He doesn't age, doesn't eat, doesn't sleep. He just waits for the next person who doesn't believe, for the next fool who thinks old stories are just superstition. Because the river woman is patient, she has all the time in the world. So remember this: if you're ever in a village with a river and the elders tell you not to go there after dark, listen, because some rules aren't meant to control you. Some rules are meant to protect you from things that are older than the village, older than the elders, older than memory itself, things that wait in the water, things that are hungry, things that are beautiful. And if you ever hear singing from a river at night, walk the other way, no matter how beautiful it sounds, no matter how much you want to see.